Howdy guys, Bookie Laura here. Now we finally reached the end of November, which means it's the start of my favourite season of the year as we get towards Christmas, but it also means it's time that I did a wrap up of the reading that I have done in November. Now November has been a really successful month for me. I read a total of 9 books, which is possibly the most I've ever read in a month. I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that. And altogether a total of 2,178 pages, which I was absolutely over the moon with. I think I'm trying to steer away from looking at the amount of reading that I've done and think about how successful it has been. And actually I think that November has been a really successful reading month for me. I've read a lot of books which I've really enjoyed, and I've noticed a real change in my reading habits. You know, I've read a lot of books where I felt really difficult to put them down, where I've just wanted to read and read and read and read. So that is really exciting, and that is exactly what I want. I want to love reading. Now unfortunately I don't have copies of all the books which I've read, which makes a wrap up quite difficult to do because I can't wave all the books around, but I'm just going to talk about them generally anyway. I didn't read any books which I gave less than 3 stars to this month, which is amazing as well, although to be honest I don't give less than 3 stars very often, so maybe that's not so much of a surprise. But what is a surprise is that 2 books this month, I gave a 5-star review to, which I don't give 5-star reviews very often. They sort of reserve for the books that truly do blow my mind and make me just want to read in a way that I haven't quite often. So to get 2 in 1 month is simply amazing. So I want to start this with just sort of going through the 5-star books which I've read and what it is that I loved so much about them. So the first 5-star book which I read this month, I think, was The Boy with One Name by J R Wallis. This is a book which I picked up at Salisbury Literary Festival. The author was there, he did a reading and he did a Q&A session and a workshop with children about monsters, which was really, really cool. If I'm honest, before I went, it was one of the workshops I was just going to because why not? And actually when I was there and he was describing this book, it really ticked my boxes. It's got a really strong female character. Basically, it's about the boy with one name, and he comes into contact with this girl. The boy, Jones, is a monster hunter in training, and the girl, Ruby, decides that she would like to be a monster hunter, only to be told that I'm afraid girls can't do that, girls can't be monster hunters, and she is determined and goes on to sort of challenge herself and push herself to achieve that. And I think that was what really appealed to me about it, the feminist thing. And that was what got me reading. But when I was reading it, I just absolutely loved it. I think the sort of monster description is done really well, alongside that kind of strong female character, and real friendships was really lovely to see. Sometimes I think friendships in middle grade books particularly can feel a bit forced, particularly between a boy and a girl, but it was really strongly written. I really, really enjoyed it. The other 5-star book which I read this month was The Confession by Jo Spain. This is an ARC which I was sent, so I will be doing a full review, but I was absolutely delighted with this book. I love a good crime thriller, and it kind of like ticks the boxes. It does the crime thriller thing, but it also takes it that little bit further, in that the whole premise of the book is that you find out who actually committed the crime at the very first page, but it's not until the end that you find out why, which is slightly different to a lot of other crime thrillers where the mystery is who did it, who did this crime, so you know who did it, you just don't know why, and piecing that together was really interesting, and I thought it was a really sort of interesting twist on the average crime thriller. As I say, I will be doing a full review of that, so you can look out for that. I then read a whole bunch of 4-star books, which I will show you the ones that I've got. I read the first volume of Saga, which is obviously highly, highly recommended as a graphic novel, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't, fall in love with it, but it was really good. I also read The Apprentice Witch by James Nicol. I think I loved this book. It reminded me of Harry Potter. I gave it 4 stars. I also read Into the Water by Paula Hawkins, which I gave 4 stars to. I read a version of Macbeth, a graphic novel version, which I gave 4 stars to. And I read a book called Pasha, which was a children's book set in World War II, based on a true story, which I really enjoyed as well. I read a few 3-star reads. If you want to know more about these books and what I thought of them, then please do check out the mini reviews video that I'm doing, but this is kind of just to summarise how my reading month went, and actually it went amazingly well. I read a bunch, which is always good, but more than that, I think I felt motivated to read, inspired to read, and I have read 2 5-star books, which is quite incredible. Please leave a comment below, let me know how your reading went in November. Have you read any 5-star books? Because I'm excited. Like, I don't know, because I haven't checked back, but I don't think I've given very many books 5 stars this year, so it's very exciting to have got 2 in 1 month. Look out, as I say, look out for the mini reviews coming very soon, where I'll just be summarising my thoughts on those books and the plots in a little bit more detail. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.